Not yet.
Not yet.
Halfway through.
Yes.
Nice that you've got the right track this time. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not Anglesey.
Not Anglesey.
I mean, definitely not.
When you heard Alton, fuck. Donut. Absolutely donut.
I'm not going to do more than 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5.
I'm actually putting the camera in your face as well.
Yeah.
A 123.5.
123.5.
We got in the scrutineering.
Good morning, people. We are at Donington Park for the 6th round of Time Attack.
Like, literally, he was just like, right,
so
okay, well, yeah, he was on sale.
I've only just really arrived. The cars at scrutineering, pretty much just being checked over, make sure it's safe, regulations, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, it's pretty much it. It's a bit of a daunting day. The mood is mixed just because most people are tired. But anyway, we'll get into the video a little bit further. And yeah, also just to add on to the last point as well, just to remind people, let us know what you want to see. I mean, this is a behind the scenes thing and I'm trying to capture it as much as possible. But if there's anything that like anyone's curious about, just let us know, yeah? All right, thanks, bye. Okay, so going into the warm-up round, again, just to remind people, it's warm-up, practice, qualifying and final rounds, yeah? But going into the warm-up rounds, which is something I missed in the intro, Laura's only, up until this point, Laura had done this once, I believe, and that was in the wet. So her lines and everything for this track that she had very little experience of were not in the conditions that she will be ultimately racing in today. So, with that being said, this is pretty much approaching it the same way as Alton Park. So today's results are going to be very interesting, is all I'll say. I won't spoil it. Let's get into it. Okay, what's going on, people? Right, so we've had a warm-up session. Been trying to find Laura, can't find her. So I'll do the little debrief for the warm-up. So from what Laura was saying, she's still kind of struggling with the car. She had a change in setup before today, which I believe was just ultimately trying to set up, including rake. Which is pretty much where the rear of the car rides higher than the front. Can't remember what that's meant to aid. I believe rotation, if common sense serves me well. I'm sure I'll be wrong and I'm sure there'll be people correcting me on this. But anyway, right, there was changing setups in the setup and yeah, she's just trying to adjust to it and it felt weird to her. But the timings are strong. So she started off as a 132 and then ended on a 125.3, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put the text up on the screen. But yeah, I mean, that's super strong, super strong. So yeah, we're just gonna carry on with the day. We've got like another, 20 minutes, 30 minutes before practice. So as I said before in the previous video, there's warm-up, practice, qualifying, and then the finals is where your times ultimately count. So yeah, just gotta see from there.
Right.
So
we're back in that business.
to Donington.
Yes, Donington.
So we've done
Not
warm up.
completed it yet.
No.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Halfway through.
Yes.
Nice that you've got the right track this time. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not Anglesey.
Not Anglesey.
I mean, definitely not.
When you heard Alton, fuck. Donut. Absolutely donut.
Track set up for Joseph today.
So,
right.
welcome to Zandvoort.
Is that Bedford Autodrome?
Spa? Why would you go Spa when you can go Zandvoort?
I don't know. I thought we were just chomping them down.
Right, no.
Yeah.
Monza.
Right, so I kind of did a recap for warm up,
Okay.
but just to kind of touch on it, it was a bit here and there.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really here and there. Carl was feeling great. I was just, so to give a bit of a backstory, this morning, well, we were yesterday, we had the car corner weighted. So it's fully corner weighted, and previously when we put it on the scales, it's a chunky boy, that car.
How much does it weigh?
1250 with me in it. It is a chunky boy.
Where is the weight?
Full glass in the rear, full glass in the rear window, the driver's seat,
Yeah, we got some weight to lose in that.
yeah.
I genuinely would have.
I'm going on a diet over winter.
You don't. I think judging from Endurocat, you don't need to go on a
Yeah.
diet.
Oh, we digress. Because obviously I was racing. I was going to fill you in about this anyway. But
I was going to ask about this.
Yeah.
But
So-
Do it later.
here we go. Yeah.
Do it later.
Do it later. Yeah. So we had the car corner weighted. It is heavy, but we had the weight kind of shifted more over the front axle, because previously it was all over the place. So it was causing me to not have a good rotation at the rear, wasn't turning in right. It was causing me to, when I was braking, it would kind of be quite unstable because the cross weights were off, so they were very uneven. There was more weight over the driver's side, so just naturally when I was braking, my the nose was going down, but then pulling to the right because there was more weight over that side. So we had someone come and do the corner weighting yesterday, and it was literally the first time I drove it from, obviously I just drove it onto the trailer. I got here last night, I got it off the trailer and drove it down the paddock and just put my foot on the brake like 3 times. I went, yeah, that's fine. Kind of, yeah, can't really do that. So I went out this morning and I had brand new tyres on as well. So we had brand new tyres, so I had to scrub those in, which is always a challenge. On a track you don't really know, like it's difficult, because especially when you've only got a certain amount of sections. I mean, fortunately they are AR1, so they don't take too long to scrub in. So it was like a couple of laps, wasn't it? I just said, I think I said on the comms, like second lap, like the tyres aren't scrubbed in just yet. I was going through things like areas like craners, however you say, they said the Exedy moment again. Craners, whatever. Rear was really light. Like there was a couple of moments where I nearly did like a
twitchy.
Yeah. Oh, I full on nearly went backwards.
Yeah.
Like there was, I nearly opened my back, nearly overtook the front. And
Don't want to tell you.
definitely not, as I was heading towards loads of gravel, and I was just like, this is not good. So I came back in. The boys checked the tyre pressures, because obviously I was just concentrating on scrubbing the wheels in, like new handling setup, etc. What were they? The tyres? When I came back in on the session?
We came back in from the fronts were 32 on the right, 35 on the left. Obviously Donington, you're always going to work the left hand side.
What were they on the? It was 40 on the front, wasn't it? One of them.
Oh, the first time round. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah, so you were nearing 40 degrees on the front left at
40
one point. Yeah.
PSI.
That one.
Keep up. I mean,
It's alright, I'm functioning off 2 hours sleep, leave me alone. Yeah, start again.
So much.
So, in the warm-up, when Laura came back in, tyre pressures were 40 psi, nearly 40 psi on the front left.
Yeah.
The rears, you'd managed to get up to around about 32, 35, and obviously the right was around about 32. So
Whereas
obviously, drop all that
previously,
back down.
I was really struggling to get temps into my tyres, like at all, wasn't I? It was really, really difficult. Yeah, so that was really the first session. We've been having a few Garmin issues, so there is absolutely no footage at all of the first round. And I know you've put, very kindly, you've helped us with a GoPro in the car so that we can actually see what's going on, because my Garmin keeps dropping out, which is very frustrating. Then I went out, the time, so obviously we've spoken about the Clios in the previous class, in the previous sessions. So I was always running at the end, at the bottom of those three. So we came in and it's warm up, nobody's going to be pushing horrifically. I came in and it was, what was it? We were 0.1 of a second between the 3 Mark IIIs.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And yeah, they've always been a lot faster than me, so I was really chuffed with that. You were really happy with that. And then
shows how far you've come along.
Yes.
Genuinely.
Yes.
Standard and your skill and obviously your belief in your own abilities and the car as well.
Yeah.
You know, from when I joined you at Cadwell, and it was very much, I don't like the car, I don't like the brakes, I can't rotate the car, I can't do this, I can't do that. And we've worked a lot, not necessarily on techniques or anything, we've more just worked on sort of confidence, building confidence at this present moment in time. And then obviously now we're starting to focus on other bits and pieces which we're starting to see results from quite quickly. Again, we're consistent with lap times, we're consistently bringing lap times down, and once we get to those points, we're now starting to see you push
for sure.
As well. So.
One thing I want to kind of highlight in this video, which I wish I was filming, is the excitement your tutor has when you smash times. So the warm-up, you went from like a 132 to 128 to 125, and when he read out 128, he was like, yes. When he said 125, listen, he was elated. Then he went out in practice. And
we just
you're doing like
practice,
the 128, then 125, then a 124. And he shouted over my conversation with someone else. Honestly, I'm telling you, like, it's it's good.
I have actually managed, and I know he will probably watch it, but I have managed to split the class. So obviously I just said to you about me, Steve, Wilco, and Ali Hamilton. We are the three. Ali does a lot of sim racing outside of here. He's started to get into that, and he's really starting to kind of push himself. And we were talking about this the other day, and we've both really grown in terms of our own development. I haven't started sim racing yet. I bought one and I've just not been able to set it up yet. So all of my practice is literally working with Mark, reviewing things, like concentrating on kind of where to focus. But I just managed to split that class for the first time.
It's a big deal.
And that's one of the reasons why, and we can now touch on that, like enduro car from last weekend. That was why you asked me to go, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we asked you to come along and drive with the Porsche Motorsport guys at Stetterton.
It was my first ever door-to-door race, so I'd done my ARDS license a couple of weeks ago, and then you just said, right, you're coming with me. Like basically it was like, you've got no choice, like kind of thing, like you're coming. And I was like, no, I can't afford it, like it's a big expense to do this as well. I'd done my ARDS and it was just like, there was a few things wrong with the car, like we had a TPS issue at Alton Park that we spoke about, and that on top of it. But then you were just like, I was always going to go and help the lads out and be like in pit lane and stuff, and then you just said, didn't you, just bring your kit, like you need it.
Yeah, bring your kit and come out and just do a practice, see if you like the car. And then the plan would be, if you liked it, if you didn't want to drive to Stetterton, we'd do a track day again and then go out and brand.
In the first, well, on the grid start with it, because we'd got, so because I'm 20 kilos lighter than the rest of these chunky boys. You just zoom in.
Oh, but you can make it. Joking.
So I'm 20 kilos lighter, so when we got on the scales, because you have to be 950 minimum with your lightest driver, and the boys, I think it was because it's not ever happened before, it just slipped, like we just got a bit complacent, didn't we?
Well,
did you get penalised?
Yeah, we got heavily penalised. We got disqualified from qualifying because of it, and then had to run. So it goes on 950 with your lightest driver regardless. So we were running with 20 kilos extra ballast, even with our heavier drivers in the car as well.
Yeah, so setting that up, but I was like, I'd never done a grid start before, I'd never done anything like that before. And you just basically said to me, right, you're going out first. We've made the decision, like the two, you and Ben, like that own the team, just said like, you're going out first because of the consistency. And I was like, oh God. But yeah, I just had to keep going. And then I think as a result of that, like I was saying to the lads, like I've been dive bombed, I'd been pinched by two guys as I was going around turn 1 into Snet, and like I just
That's a fast corner as well.
well, in a KA it's not that fast, Joseph. It's like 75 miles an hour, like when you lift.
Yeah, but in a KA, 75 miles an hour in a KA.
You lift, you just hang on.
Oh no, I lifted a little bit, but that was just because I wasn't. Yeah, so I think that has obviously helped today massively. Like at one point, I am pretty sure I got way closer than somebody in time attack probably should ever get close to in a corner when I was like letting them.
Because you were in race mode.
Yeah, I was in race mode.
Yeah.
I was like, right, well, I know that I've got enough room. I'll get round them. They'll get round me. Okay, fine. And that was it. Like it just kind of, just something switched, and the car felt fantastic. I came in, we had the tyre pressures checked, and they were 35s, weren't they? In the like second session, they were slightly.
We've gone back to time attack now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back to time.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
No, it's all right.
My brain.
I'll play catch up. So
My brain.
don't worry about it.
That's all right, well,
So we finished
That's how
talking
you
about
play
endurance.
catch up in life.
You know what, right?
Time attack. So we've come back to time attack, and now we've done the warm up.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, I'm still getting used to these practice warm up qualifying.
No, it's warm up practice. But yeah, so it was really good, really good, and I was pushing harder. So I've just got to get brake up, but less understeer. I'm running wider tyres, felt better. I've just got to review the footage from the GoPro and just start kind of looking at things really.
Yeah, so now in the process of just carrying on with the day rather than the video, I'm going to pause it here. We'll check in with you both at the end of the day, and then we can now review the footage on the GoPro. Well, not you guys in the video.
You know me, Joseph.
Alright, bye people.
You can review the footage if you want.
Yeah.
But
Tell me where I'm going wrong.
Okay, so at this point, there should be a little bit of an explanation because I'm basically going to merge qualifying with the finals. Ultimately, the main reason for doing this is just because of the fact that the GoPro did capture Laura's outlap and then the beginning of her flying lap, but then the session was red flagged just due to a car spinning out, and then GoPro doing GoPro things overheated and just pretty much cut off. So I'm going to show you the first part of qualifying, and then I'm also just going to merge right into the finals, and then at that point you'll be able to see speed. It's nice. It's great. But we could do better than that.
So a quick recap as I go through my fastest lap at Donington. So fantastic exit as I go through S's, carrying that speed through onto the curves on the right hand side, and then feeding over slowly to not scrub off too much speed. And I will start braking at the end of this red marker on the floor, turn in. I don't know how I've managed to fluff this up, but I have dropped out of VTEC. I've ridden it through and then missed this first apex, as you should do, and then hit the second apex, line myself up. I've lifted for Cranas, I do not know why, and then I've lined myself up pretty poorly for old hairpin, and I've overslowed the car far too much, but there's not much I can do about it now. So now it's just flat to the floor, clipping this apex nicely, and then riding the car out to carry the speed through up the hill. McLean's, I always line myself up poorly. I really struggle with this corner, so I've obviously positioned myself badly. I've had to just kind of run with the line that I've then put myself in, gone up the hill towards Coppice, slowed down, clipped this apex, and really got quite a nice line through there, allowing myself to carry the speed all the way through. Rode the car out towards the curb, and then it's foot flat to the floor all the way to S's again, braking after the second compression, turning in, and then really riding those apexes as much as I can with carrying the speed out far onto the right hand side, and then slowly feeding back. That's my fastest lap at Donington.
Now that's more like it. A 1:23.53. What a drive.
I'm not going to do more than 125, 1235.
I'm actually putting the camera in your face as well.
Yeah.
A 1:23.5.
Yeah.
Donington.
Completed it, mate.
Yeah, I completed it.
Mhm.
It's
alright.
You did, mate. Yeah,
It was alright, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was alright. It was okay.
Alright.
It was alright.
I'm a bit-
So, what happened the last time you came to Donington?
It was wet, like biblically wet.
Mm.
Like I couldn't see anything in front of me wet. That was fun. So yeah, this is a completely new day, really.
A completely new day.
Yeah, completely new day. I knew the track-ish, but we obviously went out last night down for a pit walk and then had to learn everything. I know we were in qualifying.
Yeah.
Qualifying was eventful, really eventful.
Yeah.
So like my teammate Dan Buckingham, he went backwards, down Cranas, whatever it is.
At like
downhill.
120.
At like 100, what was it, 20?
120.
Yeah.
Hold on, he said I went backwards down Craners at 130. The Garmin actually said 106.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
It's still fast. It's still a lot of speed to be going
It's still not a
backwards.
corner you want to go
Into a gravel pit. Yeah, 100%.
Definitely not. Yeah, so that was that. We also had, and then we had a red flag for a while actually, wasn't it? It was about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a huge amount when we went back on, and then when we went back on, it was a little bit crazy because everybody was obviously trying to go as fast as they could. And we think that the Hondas had maybe dropped something, maybe some oil or something on that corner. So yeah, it was unsettling going down there, and I couldn't get any near anything as kind of confident as I'd felt in the practice session just before lunch. The final was brought forward as well.
Yeah.
So we were quite quick between the two because they changed the order slightly.
Yeah.
And then we went straight back out again, didn't we?
So let's talk times. When you in
Yeah.
your qualifying, what was your fastest time?
I don't know, what was the fastest time?
So, well, I mean, we start at the beginning.
Yeah.
So we start at the beginning, obviously, the night before. We
My
were
PB
unsure.
was 140 as well.
Your PB was 140
In
because of wet lines.
Yeah.
We were unsure with the dry track. You said you'd be happy with 125, at which point
Yeah.
we needed to almost slap and rotate your head a little bit. I'm not going to do more than 125, 1235. So yeah, obviously we started a little bit unsure of lines, a little bit unsure of times. I knew 125 was you being very, very conservative.
Yeah.
Took the mickey out of you a bit and asked if you were going to do it in reverse.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not.
No, thankfully you didn't go in reverse.
No.
No, at all.
No.
qualifying we got down. I think qualifying we did 125s.
Yeah.
But again, with everything that was going on, and we knew we could go quicker because in warm-ups and practices we'd done 124s. Q the final.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, to be honest with you.
I don't know really. I went out and it was obviously final. I went out, come back in, and I come to get my tyre pressures checked just to make sure that things were right, because obviously, as we said, tyre pressures were quite a bit higher with the new setup. And I then got a kind of a grilling from this one telling me that he wanted to adjust my suspension to make it a bit looser on the rear because I was too comfortable at the 125s. And I went out and it took a lap to get used to it. And then I pushed and pushed. I had Andy Gray behind me pushing me along, which was awesome. Like, he's my blind spot ballet guy. And he sat there and he pushed me along, which was good. And then I chased Joe, one of the other minis, and we went round, and that's when I set my fastest lap of 123. And I would have been faster had I not been compromised on the apex of the first corner.
Now let's dwell on this 123 really quickly, because I feel like you're just kind of glazing over it. This is a big achievement. I'm just saying this for people at the back, they didn't realize it, because you went the times, I'm just going to say them real quick. 132, then 28, then 25. Mark was happy. Then 124.9. And Mark was like, okay, Then in the finals you went a 124.7. At that point we're like, okay, she's chopping them down, 10s by 10s consistency. And out of nowhere on the tannoy, I wish I had the camera rolling, we heard him go, oh, Laura Tebbs, or just Tebbs, with a personal best of 123.5, to which Mark pulls out his phone. He's like, no way. Standing next to Tom, and 123.5. Honestly, you took a brave pill that lap.
I did.
And then realized, ultimately, you are a lot faster than even you thought you said. And also, Mark, what did she say at the beginning? What was it? That she wasn't going to beat a 125?
I didn't think that I would. So, obviously, we've touched on the Clio class, where there's me, Wilco, Mark Roberts, and Ali Hamilton. Especially the three of us that have got Mark 3s, because Mark is faster because he's got a much lighter car. It's always been Steve Wilkinson, Ali Hamilton, and then me, like, depending on which way round they are, depending on the track,
100%. And shout out to them as well.
Definitely. But I've managed to split them. So when we got back into Parc Fermé, I got out of the car and Wilco was in front of me, and he said to me, I was like, oh, how did you do? And he went, oh, I did a 123, sorry. I was like, a 123 what? And I was like, he goes, oh, 123.5. I was like, yeah, what? 123.5 what? And he was like, oh, 123.56. And which I'm
close.
Like, and he goes, what? And he twigged. And I was just like, and he goes, hang on a second. So he gets the TSL, and he then sees that we are within, what was it? 1,000.
No, 100s.
Oh, 100
You're in
seconds.
100s or something along those sorts of
we are
like
split
super
by
close.
Nothing.
Now let this be a lesson to everyone, because I think we're going to try and wrap this up now. Is your self-doubt is your own hindrance. Like they always say, like, what, you're your own worst enemy. This is the perfect example of that. Now, another part I wanted you both to add on to this, and I'm sure Mark is going to have parts on this, is I know we said we were going to do like a pro and con of the day, but also a lesson of the day. So what would you say your con was? Let's get the negative out of the way.
My con was, as always, like, sitting in a red flag, it really affects me. Like, it takes me out of my flow, it takes me out of the zone kind of thing.
Disrupts your rhythm.
And it really, disrupts me, like, and I was getting hot. So that is a con, and that is always the side, like the downside. Like, it's, hot weather, you're stuck in a car that doesn't have very good aircon or airflow in general.
Pro.
So pro is probably splitting the Clio boys and beating Ali. Like, they are incredible supporters, and they do obviously want me to do well.
And they're fast.
But ultimately, like the pro is like I managed to come within that, like, and I'm no longer like the last one. If that makes sense. Like it's no longer like, oh, I'm me. So yeah, that's the pro.
For sure. And then the biggest lesson you learned today is?
I'm not going to admit this, other than this video. So if you ever hold it against me, I'm not going to do that. But it's to trust you.
Go. Which is?
It's to trust him.
It is.
When he said,
and you know what? I gave him credit earlier, and I know we're going to do like an end of season recap anyway. But it's like I said, you can lead a horse to water, and you being the horse, you're drinking the water well. You did it today, but how did you do it? How did you get there?
Yeah, I had to have someone that believed in me that I was possible.
Yeah.
Like it's all well and good. I can't do that unless somebody tells me that I can do it.
He invited you to race his car the second you passed your test.
Yeah.
I mean, if that isn't trust in your ability, then what is?
Yeah. So yeah, you made me do it. You made me.
Look, we're gonna end today. It's been tiring, and we're sitting on someone's trailer. So we're gonna check out here. And what's the next one? Brands again. So yeah, we'll catch you guys then.
See you later, guys.